Hi everyone, it's Dom from the MSGuide.com. And today we're joined again by Anjali VS in India. And we're going to talk about the social impacts of MS because there's been a great big survey done by the Delhi chapter of the MS Society of India. And that's going to start right now. Hi, Anjali. I gather from what I was talking about with you, I'm going to turn this over to you because we're talking mostly to an Indian audience and there's a fair amount of screen sharing, isn't there? So it's, will you talk us through this study that they've done, the Delhi chapter, and explain why it was done and who it's aimed at? And I gather there's some really interesting data. So share your screen if you need to.
Yeah. So, hi. Yes, the Multiple Sclerosis Society of India Delhi chapter conducted a survey in 2019 to understand the social impact of multiple sclerosis on persons living with MS in India. And this primary study was conducted on 450 persons with MS. So the sample size was 450. And in this study, we were able to understand the social impact in terms of frustration, fear of social stigma, job loss, and when the partners are abandoned by their other partners who have MS. I am going to share my screen right away to explain it in a better manner. Um, this is something that I presented to the Sector Scale Council of Persons with Disabilities in India. It is an organization that's run by the government uh, for the welfare of persons with disabilities in terms of their employment and livelihood. I hope my screen is visible. Is it?
Anjali, can you
Yeah.
can you put it on the presentation mode so that that works better now. Yeah, perfect.
All right. So the social impact is a big deal in a country like India, where we've also recently spoken about it, where it is a big deal for most Indian families, especially in the families where women have MS, and we all know that MS is prevalent in women, that too young women in India, in general, also across the world. And also to understand how it is going to impact the lives and quality of life of persons with MS. When this survey was conducted, it gave us some striking numbers,
Mhm.
and the numbers were like these. I mean, we have put it on the screen. Around 30 to 35% of people uh, said that they would like to work, but they are jobless. You know, multiple sclerosis in India in general poses threat to even young people, youths, when it comes to employment, because they are excluded also from the employment sector because we have got invisible issues and symptoms. And if we go on explaining about our issues, probably it also speaks of our efficiency at work. And that's the reason that either some of them are compelled to quit their jobs, or they are fired, they're terminated. And that's the reason why around 30 to 35 percentage of people living with multiple sclerosis in India, in these 450 people living in Delhi, said that they wanted to work but they were jobless.
Do,
Around
do,
25%.
Angela,
Yes.
sorry, I was going to say, do you mean that uh, uh, they apply for a job, tell the employer
Mhm.
they've got multiple sclerosis, and then are told, no, you can't have this job because you've got MS?
No, so there are two ways here, Dominic. There are chances that after you have gotten this employment with the company and then later on you are diagnosed with MS, then that's a different story. Yes, it affects your workability after you're diagnosed with multiple sclerosis while you're working. Then also it's a very major risk for people living with MS. They don't want to disclose it, and when they do, there is a chance of them being asked to quit the job because probably they are not able to commit to their working hours, or kind of work that they do. And then there's another section of society where they have been diagnosed with MS, and when they talk about multiple sclerosis to their employers, some of them are quite supportive because we have now the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act in place in India that has got multiple sclerosis added in it. So some of the employees are supportive, but some of them have, they ask certain questions that actually take these people aback. And, unfortunately, either out of that fear, they do not commit and they do not start working with that particular industry. Or even if they do so, after a while, they themselves feel that they are not meant for this job because they have MS, and the people know in the industry that they have MS. So
So,
some
so
of the people,
sorry,
yeah.
because you're Angeli's in India and I'm in the UK, so we've got a slight delay. Um, what advice would you give to people if you have MS and you want to work? You know,
Mhm,
is there any advice? I mean, because you are a representative of the MS Society of India, so
mhm.
I know you know about this. What would you say to somebody if they're in this 30 to 35% and they want to work, but they're having problems getting a job, whether it's themselves being worried or the employers being difficult?
Honestly, even I won't say I have faced discrimination, Dominique, but yes, I know for a fact that even in Indian culture, when the employers have to hire you, even they have several doubts and questions in mind. So one tip that I have to give people, I would encourage them to get self-employed. They can start their own work or business, or just kind of, if it is okay with them, they can also switch their careers, because that's something that even I did. And if they can't do it, then I think as of now, it is okay for them to not really take uh, multiple sclerosis, uh, or not let multiple sclerosis rule or affect their workability, because when you enter an industry with that fear that, oh my god, I have a MS, and I have to work for these several number of hours, and that I have to also kind of provide them with the output of whatever project I have been put into, that fear overtakes it, and if you are highly skilled at some task and you already know that this is something that might take a toll, I would suggest people that they should get rid of the very fear and thought of MS. And if they do have, probably they should be open and vocal with their employers about their issues
Right.
rather than living in the fear. I think they should be open about it. I think they should start sensitizing their employers on the true side, the other side of MS, that does not really bother their work as much, because there's this you know misinformation on MS, and not just in general population, also within the employers in India. So I think
So are you self-employed?
yeah, I
Yeah.
am very, I won't say I'm earning a lot. It's not a plum job, but then I'm very happy because I am a chemical engineer by qualification, but I had to switch my career because that's what I learned in my experience, that it's very difficult for certain employers to hire a woman with disability in this particular engineering sector,
Mhm.
and to let them work, because even they are scared. Even they have to take the responsibility. They're not ready. So I thought that, why not? I can start my own work and I can become a trainer or so. Yeah. And there are many schemes and provisions by the government of India, honestly, Dominique.
Okay.
We
So,
are,
Angeli, so if you're young and educated and you've just been diagnosed with MS and you're feeling that you can't get a job for whatever reason, because India has an incredibly well-educated workforce compared to the UK, you know,
right.
so you're saying there's government support for people to go self-employed like you are, because you do a lot of lecturing, don't you? And you teach English.
But then there are provisions in the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act
Yeah,
that has given us this strength, this opportunity, that just in case we want to say get a loan from a bank to say start our own business or startup, a person living with disability, when we talk about MS specifically here, can apply for a loan and they
right,
can start their own business if they want to.
right,
And we are sensitizing it. In fact, we are still on this process of sensitizing and educating even our persons with MS on the rights of persons with the Disabilities Act and also the provisions of the same.
right.
And the first thing that I would want to really tell the young people is, just do not fear. I mean, that's something that will affect the rest of your career. If you start with that thought that, okay, I'm worthless, because that's something that bothers many young people. Trust me, I've spoken to so many people and they feel that they're worthless. They
Here
can't
too,
do it.
here too, it's the we call it a self-limiting belief. If you believe you can't do it, you will never do it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, you need to take that leap of faith, and you need to trust yourself. You can't just keep on saying that, no, my employer is really a nice person and I trust him or her, that they will not let me down. And this is something that I've heard from so many people. And that's something which really bothers me, why can't you trust yourself? Why do you want to trust the other person? Right? Not that I'm not asking them to take the other person at the face value, but still you need to believe yourself, because I don't think that MS dictates you that like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
can never, kind of rule you or let you pursue something, or will not let you pursue something else. I think that's something that people, young people with MS need to keep them in mind. And then we have fortunately also got some of the job portals, employment portals in India. And one of the portals I want to particularly highlight here in this session also, Dominique, is Naukri.com. Naukri means employment. Naukri is the Hindi term.
and just so
And
everybody knows everything, where to find this study, where to find Nokri in the description of the video. Anjali's going to
mhm,
give me all the links and I'll put them all in
right,
there. So if you're watching the video, you'll be able to find all the links to
yeah,
all this information in the description.
yeah. So there's this employment portal, and this is so encouraging. I feel immensely happy to share that the only employment portal in India, which is now very popular, Naukri.com, has added a separate section of 21 disabilities on their portal that consists of multiple sclerosis also. So
Hmm.
that when employers reach out to the candidates or job seekers, or if the job seekers have some kind of disability or an issue, they can likewise mention that in their entire profile. And that is encouraging. Of course, we are yet to really talk about it with the very employment portal. We are still in the talking terms with them and trying to understand how exactly it has impacted, the larger disability group and also people with MS. I myself have, made my profile on that portal and have declared that I have multiple sclerosis. And then if any employer wants to really reach out to me, they should not expect more than 4 to 5 hours from me
Hmm.
online. If there's an online job that I have to do on my computer, which is telecommutation, they should not expect more than 4 to 5 hours.
So if we were
So
going to sum up, I know there's so much more of this, but what we've talked about, if we sort of make this a bite-sized thing, you think people should not own up to their MS, but they should own it. They should be almost proud of it. You can't change it. And I have to
right,
say, Anjali, that took me years to do, and I wish I'd done it sooner. But just coming up and
it's
saying
never too
this is
late.
me, and I happen to have this, and it puts certain limitations on me. And when you say
Yeah,
it like that, then you're not worrying about, oh, I wonder what they're going to think and all that kind of stuff.
right.
So one of the big options it can be to go self-employed, and
Mhm.
you're protected through the your version of the Equality Act. What do you call it? Sorry. The
Rights of Persons with Disabilities
Right.
Act.
Again, we'll put a link to that in. Yeah. So it's and whether you're in India or whether you're in the UK or Norway, it doesn't matter. If you hide it away, you're just going to make your own life super difficult.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You have to embrace, you have to own it. Yeah, that's the term.
Right.
That's
Okay.
the
So let's wind this video up here on you've got to own it. Because I think that's perfect. You got to own it in whichever country you're in, and that's it. But I love your attitude. I love the just keep going, because ultimately it's always my view. Nobody's going to do it for you at the end of the day. So
right.
if work's an issue and you're young, do it for yourself. As I say, sort of, just do it yourself. But Anjali, it was really great of you to take the time to come on again to the msguide.com
Thank you.
and share some more stuff.
Thank you.
So and I think good news, the COVID cases in India are going down. You're getting your vaccination soon. So, you know, it's all looking up.
Yeah, it
Hey,
is. Everything will fall in place in time. Yeah.
you have a lovely day, Anjali. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye bye.